as we are looking at Jesus' heart for you and me, there is one thing that we really need to understand. See, Jesus' heart does not flash with tenderness suddenly, not temporary, suddenly is very compassionate, suddenly is very gentle, or suddenly very lowly, but other times it's not at all like that. அப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு heart வந்து இயேசு கிட்ட இல்லை. Jesus is always gentle. Gentleness and lowliness of heart is who Jesus is always at all times. He is always gentle, lowly, and these things consistently and steadily at all times. Even though our loveliness and our actions may speak otherwise, Jesus is always gentle and lowly. Now, how do we know this? Right? You may ask me, how do we know this? We know this because of John chapter 13 verse 1. What do we see there? In John chapter 13 verse 1, we read, "Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end." What do we find here? Jesus knows that this is the beginning of the end for him. He is entering his final chapter, the deepest valley of his earthly ministry. All right, things are coming to a close right now. We read here, he knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world. And then John, see, the writer John, he pauses for a moment of moving reflection and looks back over Jesus' ministry and looks forward to the final week. So looking back, John says Jesus had loved his own who were in the world, and looking forward, John writes, he loved them to the end. Right? He's looking back as well as looking forward. Right? We see that in that verse. Okay, having loved his own who were in the world, looking back, he loved them to the end, that is looking forward. See, Jesus' ministry until that point has been utterly demanding. Okay, he has been tired, he has been hungry, he has been mocked, he has been accused by the religious leaders and his opponents, he has been misunderstood and mistreated by his own family. Okay, but all of this is nothing when compared to the cross which he is about to face. Right? It's like, you may be standing in the cold rain. You may think that is a great challenge to stand in the cold rain. But think about drowning in the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean. That is completely different. அது வேற லெவலில் வித்தியாசமான ஒரு விஷயம் அது. Okay, so all of these things which Jesus was facing until now, it is nothing when compared to the suffering that he is going to experience on the cross. All right, so for a moment, just consider what was about to happen. Okay, his worst nightmare was about to wash over him. Hell itself was opening its jaws. And it is important to consider what happened on the cross. See, for us who are in Christ, கிறிஸ்துவுக்குள்ளாக இருக்கும் நாம் சிலுவையில் என்ன ஆச்சுன்றதை கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோ டவுன் பண்ணி சிந்திச்சு பார்க்க வேண்டியது மிகவும் முக்கியமாக இருக்குது. See, God didn't just punish Jesus for one person's sin. Right? See, we read about this in Isaiah. Right? Isaiah chapter 53. The Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. The sum total of all the wrath that is deserved by all of God's people came crashing down on one person. The entire, think about this in this way, in a thunderstorm where there's lightning and so on, just imagine all the lightning falling in one place, in one person, on one person, right? Even that is nothing when compared to what happened to Jesus over here. Just imagine what it would have been for Jesus hanging on the cross and to be laid the iniquity, the sins of the world, of the entire world on him. Who could possibly survive that? யாரால அதை சர்வைவ் செஞ்சிருக்க முடியும்னு மட்டும் யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. Okay, but the question is, why would he go through it? Because he didn't deserve it at all. Why would he go through it? He did not have to do it. He could have said, no, I'm not going to do it. But why did he go through it and suffer all of these things for you and me? The verse tells us, having loved his own, loved is a very, very important word. Having loved his own, then the verse says he loved them to the end. Right? John chapter 13 verse 1, we find it there. Jesus came to the cliff, the edge of the mountain, the edge of the cliff, which is the cross. And he didn't change his mind and say, no, I'm not going to jump, from the cliff. No, he jumped from the cliff. He jumped from the tallest mountain possible. Okay. He was supposed to do. Okay. See, the difference between us and Jesus is he does not love like we do. We as human beings, we love until we are betrayed. If someone does some wrong to us, immediately the love stops over there. We don't love them anymore. But Jesus is not like that. He continued to the cross despite the betrayal. Despite the betrayal. See, we as humans, until we are forsaken, until someone lets us go, we only love until that extent. Right? If they let us go, then it's over. Everything is finished, done. There is no relation between you and me. That is how we humans treat each other. Right? But in Jesus' love, there is no forsaking. Through forsakenness, Jesus loved us. Okay, we love, as humans, we love only until a limit. There are limits, but Jesus, as we see in this verse, he loves to the end. Okay, John Bunyan writes this very, very beautifully. He writes, Christ is love. He may as well cease to be as cease to love. When the Apostle John writes in this verse, in chapter 13, verse 1, he writes, Jesus loved his own to the end. What John is doing over here is he is pulling back the curtain a little bit and he is allowing us to look into the depth of who Jesus is, the depth of Jesus' heart. Jesus' heart is not like an arrow, right? Where you shoot an arrow, it travels some distance and then it falls to the ground. No, it's not like that. Or it's not, Jesus' heart is not like a runner who starts the race very, very fast and then loses energy and stops midway during the race. ரேஸ் ஓடிட்டு இருக்கும்போது எனக்கு எனர்ஜி இல்லைங்க, எனக்கு போதும், எனக்கு முடியல அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு தன்மையுடைய ஒரு ஹார்ட் வந்து இயேசு கிட்ட இல்லை. He doesn't get tired. See, Jesus' heart is like an avalanche, right? It's like an avalanche. It gathers momentum. It grows and grows and grows. Or consider this example. It's like a wildfire. Its intensity is growing as it's spreading. Okay, that is Jesus' heart. So what do we find here? What do we understand from this? Jesus loved his own all the way through death itself. Death on a cross. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? இதன் வழியா உங்களுக்கும் எனக்கும் இருக்கிற அந்த விஷயம் என்ன? It means, இதனுடைய அர்த்தம் என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, it means that your future, my future is safe. It is secure. When we are his, நாம் கிறிஸ்துவுக்குள்ளாக இருக்கும்பொழுது, கிறிஸ்துவுடையவர்களாக நாம் இருக்கும்பொழுது, heaven and relief is coming. So we cannot be separated from his love. We cannot be separated from Jesus. Right? He has made us his own and we can't escape out from his grasp. Okay? And the truth is that Jesus endured all this suffering so that we could have heaven. He lost God's love so that you and we can have God's love on us forevermore. So this Jesus who did all of these things for you and me, this Jesus loved you when you first fell into his arms, and he will never let you go. He will love you to the end.